TAI Item 469, September 11th, 2018, iOS 12 Betas 11 and 12, and Apple Event Preview.
Welcome to Today in iPhone.
I like it a lot.
Today in iPhone.
Hey, Google!
Oh yeah!
My beautiful iPhone, which I never have out of my hand and that I do everything with and has become an extension of who I am.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rob, and you are listening to the Today in iOS podcast. First up, I want to thank Michael for sending in the artwork for today's show. Michael wrote the following. Hi, Rob. I took this shot in front of the Apple Store in Indianapolis today. I added the text with the app Typic, Typic. Regards, Michael M. Well, thanks, Michael, for sending in this. And folks, you can see Michael's artwork in the free app via the bonus button for episode 469 or at Instagram.com/todayios and also at Facebook.com/todayios. If you have some artwork and or music you have created for your iOS device that you would like to share with the audience, please email to me at todayios@gmail.com. Please make sure to include which app or apps you use to create said artwork and or music. All right, let's get right into this. Since the last episode, Apple released iOS 12's Beta 11. So what was new? Well, it had this really annoying bug where it constantly told you there was a new beta available to update to. And for a few days, was it wrong? It was wrong pretty much every time for a few days. But then 4 days after that, on August 31st, Apple released iOS 12 Beta 12, which squashed a bug introduced in Beta 11. And the bug and the bug squashing of the bug were the only things to report in Betas 11 and 12 of iOS 12. Well, except for those with iPad Pros, there seems to be a bug for some, and I was one of the some, in which it would say your Apple Smart Keyboard was not a compatible accessory. This started with Beta 11 and continued with Beta 12, at least until I did a couple of full reboots on the iPad. And the last couple of days now, it seems to have stopped. But there was a point in time there where it was really annoying. Beta 12 is very, very likely the last beta before Goldmaster, which should and likely will be released to devs this week. As you know, I have said since the beginning that iOS 12, it has been a much, much more stable iOS no-dot beta than any other in the past. The recent two bugs I mentioned were actually the exception this time around. I went back to the episode last year, right before the event then, episode 440, and here is what I said at that time about iOS 11. Quote, well, I can say the last 5 days with iOS 11 Beta 9 make me fully understand why there had to be a Beta 10. Beta equals bugs. I have said it many times before, and for me, Beta 9 lived up to that and then some. I can't remember the last time I had my iPhone 7 Plus hang to where I had to press and hold the home button, the power button, and down the volume button to force a hard reboot. But this week, I had to do it twice. Lots and lots of app crashes and issues I had with Beta 9 were not just for my 7 Plus, but they also were happening with the 6 Plus and the iPad Pro, 12.9 inch and the original, and the 10.5 inch devices. I will warn now, and on the next episode as well, when the next round of updates for iOS comes out as Gold Masters for all, likely around September 19th, plus minus a day, do not upgrade. iOS 11 has had too many updates this late in the cycle not to have some additional issues. Plan on waiting for iOS 11.0.2 before upgrading to iOS 11, unquote. Rather prophetic, I would say, considering how things wound up working out for iOS 11 when it came out. And actually, you really needed to wait till iOS 11.1 before you upgraded around the last time. This time around, I will say still wait, but just for a week or two before upgrading. September 18th is likely when iOS 12 public release will be. I would say to be safe, wait until the evening of Friday the 28th of September to upgrade to iOS 12. This will give you the weekend to work out any issues before the work week starts on October 1st. Again, while iOS 12 betas have been a dream compared to iOS 11 betas, And really iOS 12 is iOS 11.5. I still say wait until September 28th to upgrade just to be on the safe side. Since last episode, there was one new beta for watchOS 5 going to beta 10. Really nothing to report here. Goldmaster should be released this week to the devs. Again, wait until the 28th to upgrade to watchOS 5 public version. And finally, there were a couple of beta updates for tvOS 12. Both betas 9 and 10 were released since the last episode. And what was new in these two betas? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Huh. Or at least it appears to be. I'm sure there were some bug fixes and optimizations thrown in there. tvOS 12 Goldmaster should roll out, I would say, this week to devs, again with all the others, and next week to the masses. All in all, Apple looks set for the mass updates next week, again, likely for the 18th, for the public, non-beta testing masses, that is. And yeah, don't be part of that crowd. There is no compelling new feature that would warrant updating to iOS 12, watchOS 5, or tvOS 12 before September 28th. Just chill, watch Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime or Ozarks on Netflix, drool over the new iPhones, but don't update with the masses. Just don't do it. Okay, speaking of new iPhones, Apple announced their special event for this week, September 12th, as we predicted back in July, and I have put out our traditional rumor bingo card, where I bring together some of the most persistent rumors into one place. As I always say, these are not all that I think will happen, just those that are reported on the most. Per what I think will or will not happen, let's break down the bingo card items into what I think are slam dunks, those that are greater than 50% likely, those that are less than 50% likely, and those I don't see happening at all. First, the slam dunks. 3 new iPhones, the XC, the XS, and the XS Plus. Oops, did I say X? Let's just say the 10C, the 10S, and the 10S Plus. A12 processor with the M12 Motion coprocessor will be announced. The 10 series or X series, the 10 series, will all be edge-to-edge no home button. The iPhone XS Plus, the 6.5-inch, will be OLED, and then add in the free spot, and those go from the top left to the lower right for a bingo. Additionally, in the slam dunks, we have the iPhone XS, the 5.8-inch OLED, the iPhone XC, 6.1-inch LCD version. Next is a new dual SIM card version. This may only be available in China, but only in China to start, likely then rolled out elsewhere, but at least an announcement of a new dual SIM card version of the iPhone. The iPhone 6S and 6S Plus will be killed off the available iPhones to purchase. New iPhones will be able to pre-order on September 14th, 12:01 a.m. Pacific time. New iPhones will ship out to users on September 21st, so Friday the 21st. If you pre-order on the 14th at 12:01 a.m., pretty close to that time, then you may be lucky enough to get one of the new iPhones on 9/21. In the likely to happen, greater than 50% chance, Apple Watch Series 4 will be announced, and the Apple Watch Series 4 will go to edge for the screen. So basically, it would be the same size as the current Apple Watch 4, but the screen will be bigger. No iPads will be announced. There will be 4 gigs of RAM for the new XS and XS Plus. There will be 128 kilobyte level 1 cache for the XS and the XS Plus. There will be no third rear camera on any of the modules announced. And Gorilla Glass 6 for the XS and XS Plus as a minimum. Now, maybe on all the lines. And for those that you think, well, wait a second, Gorilla Glass is already on the iPhones. Well, Gorilla Glass 6 is not. And Corning just announced Gorilla Glass 6 earlier this summer. And when you read their announcement and when it's going to be available, sounded like it was going to be available in the fall. And then they even mentioned the fact that some phones today have glass on both sides. What kind of phone could that be? So most likely, there'll be Gorilla Glass 6. Now, will Apple state in the event that it's Gorilla Glass 6? No. What they may say is that it's twice as likely to survive a fall with the new reinforced glass. So if they say anything about it being more durable to falls, that means Gorilla Glass 6. Per those items on the bingo card, less likely than a 50% chance to happen. An announcement of exactly 30 hours of 3G talk time for the iPhone XS Plus. Price range for the iPhones from $349 on the low to $1149 on the high. That $1149 on the high may actually go up to $1250. There's some rumors that the XS Plus may go all the way up to 512 gigabytes of storage. We'll see. Improved low light performance for the XS Plus. An upgrade to the iPhone SE 2, and that it stays with the 4-inch design. And then the SE 2 will still have the home button. Originally, I was thinking 4 new iPhones, with the SE 2 being the 4th as a slam dunk. But lately, the rumor mill has not had any pictures or leaks. So it seems less and less likely we will see the SE 2 at this event, which would be a shame. My wife is really looking for an upgrade. And then finally, those I do not see happening. Triple rear camera on the XS Plus, or triple rear camera on any, but as we said earlier, there will be none. I think that's more of a likely, but triple rear camera on the XS Plus, I don't see that happening now. And then 6.1-inch LCD version of the iPhone would be called the iPhone 9. I think the way the rumors have fallen in place now, it's going to be the 10C. As always, you can find the rumor bingo card at todayandios.com, and in the post, I break out the items in the bingo card in plain text to make it voiceover friendly. Will we get some of the items I just mentioned wrong? Oh, absolutely. The rumor mill is never 100% or even close. But it is a lot better the last few years than it was the first few years. I'm sure Apple will have a couple of new features no one saw coming, and as long as they have nothing to do with Animojis, I am certain we'll be excited about them. The live event is Wednesday the 12th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. You can watch it at apple.com/apple-event, or just look for the link in the blog post for the bingo card over at todayandios.com. For the next episode, I really want your feedback on what was announced. Call us, 206-666-6364. That's 206-MOONDOG. Or record your thoughts on your iOS device and email them to me at todayandios@gmail.com. Tell us what you most liked about what was announced, what you most wanted and was not announced, and what you least liked about what was announced. And of course, let us know which new iOS device you will be getting, or if you'll be passing on this upgrade cycle.
Hey Rob, this is Justin in Pennsylvania. I was calling as like a sort of like a suggestion I have now that I've started to use using the iOS 12 beta. There's the bedtime feature where it dims your lock screen and everything, and it's kind of nice when it's all over. It gives you like a little good morning and gives you like the weather when you wake up. I wish they would have this feature where for people that sleep on different schedules, because I work night shift and then when I'm off, I try to sleep like a normal human being. I wish they'd let you pick the days and schedule it, because I know what days and how I'm going to sleep generally. And, the hours will be sometimes day, sometimes night. I wish they would let you pick day to day like that. Or if there is a way and anyone knows, let me know. But as far as I can tell, I was looking at the scheduling feature and it didn't appear to only be able to pick a range of hours, and that's it. Which, I think is, I don't know, I just wish they'd let you do it, because you can pick your alarms and set them by the day, or repeat weekly or daily, however you want to do it. I wish they'd let you do the same thing for this feature, which I do really like, and I think it's a good step in the right direction, because I actually went to pick up my phone, saw it was black, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be sleeping. It's just a little, light little tap on your shoulder to remind you, like, oh yeah, you should be picking this up. You should go to bed. It's nice. I think between this and screen time, they're two really nice features to kind of show you what you're doing to yourself. And I think it's I think it's good. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and have a great day. I love the show, Rob. Thanks. Bye.
Justin, as always, thanks so much for your feedback. Into the email bag. Hello, Rob. Thank you for an amazing podcast. I have an iPad 5th gen 128 gig Wi-Fi and cellular, running iOS 12 betas. And I was wondering if there were any apps that you would use all the time. And also, if I was to update my iPad, what model would you go for? And also, what model iPhone would you go for the vision impaired? Regards, John Petrie, Cut, Carve, Create, Sydney, Australia. All right. John, thank you for the email. And per apps I use all the time on the iPad Pro, apps that are not pre-installed. I use Evernote, Netflix, HBO Now, Prime Video, AMC, and of course Fortnite. Well, more for the kids, but still, it's used quite a bit. There is Adobe Photoshop app, Overcast, and BossJock as well that are in my top list of most used apps. And then a heavy dose of native apps, of course. Per the iPad to go to if you upgrade. Well, I would say check back in October when Apple will likely have another event towards the end of October, which will introduce new iPads. But if I had to pick today, well, then the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. But again, I would highly recommend you wait until October. There should be new iPads announced then. And even an outside chance, maybe even this week. Per the iPhone, but per the visually impaired, I have heard people say they like the larger phones, especially if they are impaired versus completely blind. For completely blind, I've heard some say they like the smaller SE, and then others have said they like the plus size. That said, folks, if you are visually impaired, which iPhone size is your favorite and why? And what is your thoughts on the new iPhones that were announced this week? So call us once they are announced. 206-666-6364. That's 206 Moondog. John, I would have to say at this point, wait until the next episode for more feedback on the best iPhone for sight-impaired users and just to see what new is announced. And then the iPads, again, wait until October. To the email bag we go. Hi, Rob. I'm hoping one of your knowledgeable listeners might be able to help. I'm looking to be able to set up a route with multiple points along the way, which when reached would trigger the playing of an audio file. The purpose of this is to provide an audio commentary of places of interest throughout a bus tour. I assume this would utilize GPS to determine when the bus has reached a point where the next audio file is to be played. The audio files would need to be stored on the device or in an app without the need for syncing with iTunes, such that the whole thing is self-contained, as it is likely that in some cases the bus will be in areas without cellular or Wi-Fi signal. Many thanks in anticipation. Regards, Alf, and from Matlock, the UK. I'm going to throw this one out to the audience. 206-666-6364. That's 206 Moondog. But Alf, this may be something you can do with workflow, so you might want to look into workflow before the next episode when we have some feedback from others. Back to email bag. Hi, Rob. Just a note about iOS 12 and my iPad. They do not have the view and split screen anymore. I really like this feature when I was looking at Amazon giveaways. You would look at product in the split screen. Maybe it will be back. Another note, my iPad Pro 9.7-inch, I spent a couple of months where my apps would not update. I tried everything Apple recommended, finally erased everything and set it up by opting off my iPad Air 2 device, and now it's working fine. This is a really neat feature if you have more than one iPad. Great work on the show. Regards, Roy Sabo. Roy, they actually still do have a split screen. It's a little different on how you get into it than before. First, you launch the first app you want, and then slightly pull up on the dock from below, and then tap, hold, and drag up the app you want to go split screen and bring it over on the right side and drop it in place. Per going split screen with two windows in Safari, that is not something I can get to work. That said, if anyone does know how to get split screen with Safari, let us know. Give us a call or shoot us an email.
Hey Rob, it's Michael over here in Kokio, Oregon on the beautiful Oregon coast. Wanted to reach out to you. Okay, I wonder how many people caught that Tinder joke there. I wonder what you're going to be measuring with it. Oh. No, I just wanted to reach out and say, I'm excited about a feature that I think will admit I haven't been looking at the news that much, but I think it got a lot less press than what it needed to. So let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story. Here's a story why blind people shouldn't have BB guns. On Monday, this past week, I was playing around with a BB gun in the house, shot it, a BB bounced off, hit the TV that we just bought, brand new 65-inch curved 4K ULD ultra high definition, all this fancy stuff, and 65 inches and I'm completely blind. Only thing I liked about it was there was built-in accessibility for it, and that was great. And it kind of upset my wife, though, because she was really fond of the TV. But I had to find a pro aspect of it. So I pulled out our Apple TV and I connected it to one of the boys' 42 inches, I think we've got. Well, it's a lot smaller, they tell me. Connected it to that TV, set that up, and then connected the sound, because apparently there's not HD audio output on the 4K Apple TV, or I'm not seeing it or feeling it or something. Anyways, connected that to the TV, ran the audio out of the TV, and so when we bought the TV, we also bought a brand new Sony soundbar. And it's real nice to leverage in anything running iOS 11.4 greater, 4.1 I think greater. iOS 12 is what I've got it on right now. It's great to be able to leverage AirPlay 2, run the audio from your Apple Music into the soundbar and into Sonos throughout the house and keep that music regulated throughout the house. So I just want to let you know, my favorite feature in iOS 12 or iOS 11.4 or 11.4.1 I think it was the AirPlay 2. Really excited about that. And, excited to also see where ARKit goes, because I've been talking to a couple of people about some interesting uses and some way we can, as blind individuals, virtualize some of the technology we leverage humans for. So, chat soon. Appreciate the show and have an amazing rest of your day.
Mike, thank you very much for your feedback. It was an interesting article in Wired last month titled "Millions of Android Devices Are Vulnerable Right Out of the Box." And to which we say, yeah, shocker. This has to do with a combo of issues with firmware going back to issues from manufacturers and carriers, each of whom get their fingers into the Android OS. How bad is it? Well, it depends on the device. Take the Asus ZenFone V Live. CryptoWire, the firm that released the report and did the research, said this phone, the Asus ZenFone V Live, out of the box, leaves, quote, its owners exposed to an entire system takeover, including taking screenshots and video recordings of a user's screen, making phone calls, reading and modifying text messages, and more, unquote. Well, good thing it is nothing important. Asus did, for their part, say they are aware of the issue and that they have collected a whole bunch of recordings from their users that they are sharing internally for a good laugh. Well, either that or they said they are working on fixing the issue. One of the two, hey, maybe even both. CryptoWire called out other companies and with other similar issues with their Android phones. To which I do have to love the response from Google about this. And this is from Google's actual response. Quote, "We would like to thank the security researchers at CryptoWire for their efforts to reinforce the security of the Android ecosystem. The issues they have outlined do not affect the Android operating system itself, but rather third-party code and applications on devices." Unquote. I love how Google splits hairs there. The issues are not an Android issue. They are issues in third-party code that is running on top of Android. It's not the coal that is the issue with global warming. It is the third-party flame that ignited the coal that is the real issue.
Hey Rob, it's Levi from Moreno Valley, California. Just wondering if you or any of the people in the community know some good learning apps for kids, whether for specific subjects or individual subjects. I've got one kid in second grade, one in third grade, and I don't know if there'll be apps specifically for certain grades, or if you can select what grade you want to have available in the app. So I don't know what kind of options are out there. I haven't looked a whole lot. I've been pretty busy, but figuring there's other people out there that are smarter than me and have already done all this research. So I was wanting to tap the community as well as yourself, see if anyone knows of some good learning apps. So if you guys can get back to me, I greatly appreciate it. Love the show. Thank you for all that you do. Have a good one.
Levi, as always, thank you for your feedback. And if anyone out there can help Levi, give us a call, 206-666-6364. That's 206-Moondog, or shoot an email to todayinios@gmail.com. Into the email bag we go. Hi, Rob. I found this site when doing a search for Sell HomePod, and I would really like to sell my second iPhone 10 unlocked to them when I can still get a good payout for that, and their offer is way better than Gazelle or the iPhone. Gazelle doesn't even buy HomePods, and their offer stinks on most things anyway. The site I found is igotoffer.com, igotoffer.com. Do you know anything about them? Regards, Jim. Jim, I know nothing at all. What you just sent me and your email is more than I know. So if anyone has used igotoffer.com and was able to sell a device and actually collected the money, let us know. Or conversely, if you use the site and couldn't collect the money, let us know. Back to the email bag. Hi, Rob. I love the TI app, but I'm mystified by the little numeric counter that appears on the icon. Is it a message counter? I can't get rid of it. What's it for? Regards, Eric Moody. Well, Eric, that happens to be the counter of unplayed episodes in your app for TII. So if you go and you see that number is 270 or 150 or whatever the number is, that's the number of new episodes since you've had the app that you haven't listened to. And the way to get rid of that is you can actually go down to settings. So first what you do is get your list of episodes, click on the menu button in the upper right hand side, and that'll get you to the sub items where you can see episodes, category, inbox, extras, share. Anyway, go down to settings. And then what you want to do is mark episodes. You want to go all the way to the bottom and click on mark episodes, and then you want to change mark episodes to played, and then you want to go ahead and click apply. And there's between dates. You can change it to between dates from, go 1/1/2000 to 9/11/18. Whatever it is, and then click apply, and that will clear out all the episodes. So no more bubble with the numbers other than for new episodes going forward that you haven't listened to.
It's Ryan from Seattle. Just wanted to shoot you a message and let you know my wife has the iPhone 7 Plus. She accidentally dropped her phone, shattered the screen. She's had lots of other problems and issues with her 7 Plus. Sometimes the touch screen is not working in certain places. The speaker seems to be intermittent. So I had the iPhone 10, and my plan is to go ahead and give her my iPhone 10, so I needed another phone. I've always been partial to the iPhone SE and went out and found an iPhone SE for cheap, so I picked it up, and I'm really digging the small form factor. The plan all along was to give my wife the iPhone 10 this fall, and then I would get the new iPhone, but I needed something in the interim, so I went ahead and got the SE. I'm liking it. It's great. I realize it has the 6S internals. What I would love to see is an iPhone SE2 with, say, an iPhone 8 or even iPhone 7 internals. That would be super cool. Better camera, maybe 3D touch, maybe a little bit larger screen without the bezels. What's your thought? Do you think that they're going to release something like that this fall, or do you think that's totally off the table? Just curious. Hey, thanks a lot, Rob. Looking forward to your next episode. Thanks. Bye.
Ryan, thanks for feedback. I am really hoping that they do release an iPhone SE2 tomorrow or Wednesday when they have the announcement, or at least announce it. I would like to see the iPhone 8 internal, so the A11 processor in it. I don't want it to go edge to edge. I would like to see it stick with a home button. So I'd like to see it basically be exactly on the outside the way the iPhone SE looks right now. I'm not one that's wanting the larger edge to edge bezel-less type design for the iPhone SE2. That might mean it's coming that way, but it's not what I want. I was hoping Apple would keep the price low so we can keep it that $349 introductory price. I don't know if they can go with the A11 processor and everything else and go completely without a home button, so they have to have Face ID and still hit that $349 price. So if the choice is home button at $349 or no home button and Touch ID at $399 or $449, I would root for the home button and the traditional design at the $349 price. Maybe Apple even bumps it down a little bit from there. What are you doing later?
I'm picking out my pumpkin with the great pumpkin himself. Then we're going pumpkin caroling.
What are you doing later?
I'm practicing being more helpful. I just like to help. Helping's my favorite.
What are you doing later?
Just consulting my Siri 8 ball.
What are you doing later?
Just enjoying the nice summer weather. And the fall. And winter. And spring. I'm multi-hemispheric.
What are you doing later?
I'm telling jokes to lots of folks.
What are you doing later?
I'm at work. My shift ends in 614,977 years.
What are you doing later?
I'm helping everyone do their work. And if your name is Rihanna, work, 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 work.
What are you doing later?
I'm learning some new tricks. Try asking me what I can do for you.
What are you doing later?
I'm brushing up on Apple Music playlists. Maybe I should try listening to them one at a time.
We're going to go ahead and start wrapping this one up so that we can get ready for the next one, which will be to go over all the exciting new products that Apple announced at their September 12th special event. So episode 470, we're going to go over all of that. One thing I want to say to you, if you want to do a podcast, then first you need to host with the best and most reliable host, and that clearly is Libsyn. So go to Libsyn, Libsyn.com, and sign up. And if you do that, you can use promo code podcast411. So podcast, the number 4, number 1, podcast411. You get the rest of the current month free and all of next month free. So if you've ever wanted to be a podcaster, you want to separate yourself from all the bloggers out there. There's about a 1,200 to 1 ratio, bloggers to podcasters. So if you want to separate yourself, you have an idea for a podcast, maybe you don't like waiting every other week now for a new episode from your favorite podcaster, or even less frequent, you can start your own. Go to Libsyn.com and again, use promo code podcast411 to get the rest of this month free and all of the next month free. And before we go today, I want to remind you to send in your feedback to the show, 206-666-6364. That's 206-Moondog. Or record your feedback and email to the show at todayandios@gmail.com. Feedback can be a question or comment per something someone said on this episode, or it can be a question or rant you have about something else, an app or product review, good or bad. As long as it is iOS related, it is welcomed. I'm always looking for new artwork to feature that you created on an iOS device. Just put some TII branding on it and send it in. And of course, we're always looking for more music created on an iOS device to play on the show. It's your show and your feedback is greatly desired. And don't forget to check out our moderated Google Plus community by going to todayandios.com/community. A quick reminder, if you are an app dev or an iBook author, just email me if you want your app or iBook featured in the promo giveaway segment for free. We just need 5 promo codes or more to give away. Simply email me at todayandios@gmail.com and please include a 60-second or less audio review of your app or iBook indicating you are the dev or author. Also, when you send in the promo codes, please make sure to let me know when they expire. Finally, check out the TII app, which is free to you. Search for TII in the iTunes App Store. It is the best way to consume the show and to get push notifications each time a new episode of TII is released. It is fully voiceover friendly, of course. Please go right now and download the TII app or get the update. Until the next time, which will be pretty soon. I am your host, Rob, reminding you to phone different. This show is hosted on Libsyn.com and part of the Wizard Media Network. If you are looking for hosting, go to Libsyn.com, that's Libsyn.com, for hosting for your podcast and for creation of your own smartphone app. The Today in iOS podcast can also be found on the free Stitcher radio app. Just search for TII.